Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video and do a little bit of energy healing. It was something I went out into the park yesterday and it was so windy. It was so funny because it was like the wind was just, it was like a maelstrom of just like clearing this collective energy that I was taking part in healing. And we're all doing it in our own specific way, so I just want to give this as my contribution. So, the first thing I'm going to do is light a little Palo Santo. If you know what Palo Santo is, it's a wood. And you spiritual weirdos probably know what this is. I've probably seen this in ceremony and in Reiki healing ceremonies. Fire is really cleansing. Fire is like forest fire, you're able to tap into that energy of destruction in order to create. The pine cones need that energy, that bursting, fiery energy to get more to get more out of their shell, start to unlimit themselves. So this healing and wellness video is about unlimiting yourself. And when I did it yesterday, I was in this limited mind frame. We're always in these limiting mind frames, and we kind of just keep, oh, that's a new lesson. That's something new that I'm teaching myself. So I clear this space with the intention of healing myself so I can heal you. And then I'm also allowing this smoke and this mist and this ether to go out to the heavens, to go out to the farthest reaches of our cosmos, to go out to the imagination, to go out to the outer realms. And the outer realms are in our inner realms, are in our heart. So our personal physical heart and all the experiences and the shit we've gone through and all the joys and delight is just as big, is just as small, is just as unlimited, just as unmeasurable. We need to relax our preferences and release our measuring. I gotta keep going. The energy's here. It's like clean myself a little bit, clean my head, clean my crown, push that smoke all the way down to my feet, my physical feet that I'm grounding. It smells so good. Can you smell it? Change smells really good too. But this, my senses have been heightening, and this is like, it's so good. So good. Cleanse my hand chakras. It's not even, you don't even call it. Chakra is such a weird word. It's just one of those things that the people that hate yoga are gonna call it one thing. The people that love yoga are gonna call it another. So it's a way of measuring the right or wrong, good or bad. And it's like, that's what this is all about. This is unlimiting that judgment. It's good to have preferences so you can make a choice, but it's not this choice or that choice. It's just, the choice is here. Being able to choose is here. Okay, so the smoke's gonna keep burning a little bit. And for the first part, the one holding the space, is I have some rhodolite. I don't know if I can actually see. This is gonna focus on my face, so I'm gonna get real close. Oh, there she is. So this is rhodolite. And this is a rhodolite skull. It reminds me of Hellboy, so I fucking love this. I picked this up. My mom had just passed, and I needed a little bit of support, so I went into a crystal shop, and this one just spoke to me. It's got a little bit of that pink, but also that kind of darkness. And the pink is the rhodolite, and that is connected to the it's connected to the goddess energy. I'm laughing because my fingernails are a little dirty. I was cleaning my bike yesterday, and now it's like, oh, You know, I'm not perfect. there's shit underneath my fingernails. There's garbage in my heart that I'm purging, just like we all are. It makes it kind of fun. But like they're saying, that rhodolite is connected to the goddess energy. It's about healing. It's about holding space. And when we're held in that space, that ocean that is genderless, but that is feminine, that is able to you're just able to relax into that. And the body, physical body, is just like, oh, thank God. Restoration. Thank God. Praise the Lord. So the first, in this actual activation ceremony, I'm going to bring out... Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do first? So that, I had the smoke, the fire, and then I created a barrier or a protective energy of the rhodolite. So I'm going to get a new candle I just got from a new place I'm buying from online. It's called Public Goods, and it's like really cheap things. Let's see if I can actually get it. There we go. Black Currant. It's like a soy candle, and it's a little bit better price. And I'm a frugal mother effer, so I like to. So I'm lighting this in the greatest good of all for wellness, wholeness, and unlimitation. And I'm actually going to put this right underneath this tripod, so it is actually putting a fire under your butt. But remember, you are protected. You are protected. So it's just you're alchemizing right now. You're like, ooh, it's kind of nice being a seat warmer. You're invincible, so don't ever forget that. And so I'm bringing out kyanite now. Kyanite is really great. This is a kyanite wand, and so I feel like a magician or a sorcerer, and I'm using kyanite because kyanite is really good at connecting to communication energy, to connecting to, getting into authentic communication. Not communication of like getting out of the body, but communication of like getting into the throat and being able to go, hey man, that didn't feel right. That felt limiting and constricting, and I would like to talk about this. So that is kyanite. Even though this is a wand, it doesn't, just like yesterday when I was making the video, it didn't feel like it was like really active energy. And so we're back. There's a little bit of an edit because I had to change the battery. Well, that's perfect, because I took care of the problem. I was very sovereign in how I dealt with it. And that's what I want to talk about next. Is I love that... I love the Lion King's portal because it was synchronous with the Lion King, the new Lion King movie. It was so nostalgic. It reminded me of as a kid. It just broke me open in a whole new way. And I loved how it was talking about being sovereign and being able to step up and being able to take charge, but also Hukunu Matata. There's no worries. Like it's able to balance that child. Like he was like a little kid the whole time. I love that. He was just like he grew up. And he was just with Timon and Pumbaa. He's just this little kid, and I never saw it like that. And then he had to come back. He had to realize he did have to grow up, but he held that no worries attitude. Mufasa had worries. Mufasa was only afraid when his son was in danger. But I don't think Simba I think Simba saw past danger. Because he saw that there was nothing to be worried about in reality, in his kingdom. So he could step up even and become an even better king than Mufasa, who is still very rigid but very loving. And it's making me choke up. I fucking love it. Because I see new things. I see new ways of perceiving things. And I love my childhood, and that's the whole thing, is become the child king or the child queen. Become that monarch, that inner engineer of your own reality. And bask in the light of your child. The child is like, oh, I'm pure. I'm purity. I'm fun. I'm joy. And then they'll just go and they'll play with some bugs or some sticks or rocks. And it's like they have no cares. And so relax the preference of having like staunch cares and just care more about the wellness, the freedom, that unlimited nature. And so I want to introduce 3 stones to you. I have a Shiva Lingam, I have Serpentine, and I have Chrysola. I like saying it like that, Chrysola. So a Shiva Lingam is a combination of two rolled stones, like a banded stone from India. Get in on that. And this is great because the red represents masculinity and the white represents femininity. And this is like an egg, so it represents that Shakti energy of like the divine feminine mother, but then also the masculine kind of phallic type of energy of Shiva. So it's a Shiva lingam, because Shiva was completely man. He was man enough to have a womb, and so that is actually being held in the heart space. So I'm not going to work with. I don't need to move that energy. That's just sitting silently and resting in the heart space as that feminine and masculine energy just merges and it just dances and has fun, but it's still focused. That's the whole thing. Focus is great, but hey, look at this focus. Look at this focus, as opposed to I need to focus. I need to block out everything. Like that's the old paradigm. It's one thing to focus on the heart, but then focus goes in, focus goes out, focus changes. Don't preoccupy yourself on what you need to focus on, but instead just act like the water that flows around the focus. Be the content or the contentment. Content as in what you create, and contentment as in how you feel with what's flowing around that focus. And then the outer barrier would be how far you can imagine, how vast you are as a human, and how vast you are as a god, how vast you are as the universe. So we're focused in this little place, but it's not a little place like this. It's more of a little place like, this is a nice little place. It's a nice little cozy home. Because you see how I went little, and then in my body language, I could feel it. It doesn't feel good. And I was manipulating just my body and like for performing and showing you something, and then this just feels tense. So I relax. Okay. I relax into that small space, and if I relax into the large space, I open my mouth. I do lion's pose. And so that's actually calling for Krisola to come out. Krisola is so beautiful. It's got that like turquoise, dappled, spotted energy, and that's working with the throat, working with the upper energy centers in order to keep us in alignment to our communication, to speaking authentically and with power that is divine, not power that is run by the collective unconsciousness. Victim consciousness is no longer necessary. That's just fucking stunning. And so that is being placed in the throat, because a lot of times, like a Kundalini yoga, all they do is focus on the third eye, which is great for whatever. I don't actually prescribe to it. It's just like it's kind of fun, moving the muscles and relaxing the brain in certain ways. But we go so out of body in our practices that it's better to go down. So Krisola, Christ is coming down into our throat. He's teaching us how to speak fundamentally. Yeah, that's what's happening. So I'm going to light this Palo Santo again, just because that was quite astringent, that energy that I just brought into the throat. And as I do this, ground down into your heart. Ground down into your heart. Yesterday I started with the serpentine as opposed to the Krisola, but today it was called the other way around. Because we're too grounded sometimes. We're too grounded as like little kids. We're like little kids. You're grounded! Go to your room! That's not relaxing. You need to discipline your children, but not discipline as in like you did something wrong, but discipline as in my inner child. I explained it in a video yesterday that I love this example. It's like the little kid is pure and they can just create anything, and so they throw a bucket of paint on the wall and you gotta and then they're just like waiting, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And the parent, they could either react really negatively, or you could just react or respond in a positive way and go, hey man, that's not cool, like, you know, this is a shared space, like, I understand and I love that you're creative, but we're gonna have to talk about this. We're gonna have to create some boundaries, some rules, you know, things like that. And both parties have rules. That's the point of authentic relating, authentic communication, nonviolent communication. And so that's the thing, where we're so stuck in communication barriers that we can't even get down into the physical body. And so serpentine now, as this continues to burn, I'm going to hold this with my left hand and cleanse the left side of my body. And so serpentine is a great, get that smoke in there, cleanse the serpentine, is a great stone for Kundalini energy. And Kundalini is isn't that beautiful? It's got that, like, that golden color, or no, it's like a golden, really golden color. Then it's got a gunmetal gray, and it's got those lines of thousands of years of just pressure, and hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years of pressure. Millions of years of pressure coiling it into a goddamn beautiful thing. Goddamn beautiful. But even serpents need to relax. You need to relax, get out of their skin. And Kundalini's always talked about, like, coming up. It's an energy that's coming up, or it's coming down, whatever. It's like I'm saying, no, don't measure. Don't limit yourself. When you rest in the heart and relax, we recognize that it's coming out of our heart and it's going into our heart. It's that give and take of that child and the parent. And when you become the elder, so become the child, become the parent. Parent your child and be the child to the parent. When you are the elder, then the elder is able to just sit back. You have the child, as in Simba, and Mufasa as the parent, and then Rafiki. I fucking love Rafiki. Isn't he fun? He's just so much more fun because he's the elder, and he doesn't care what the kid does because his child is the mother or father in this example, and they're waiting to see what creation they make. So the kid throws the creation of the paint on the wall, and the Rafiki, or the elder, is like, what are you gonna do? And when Mufasa died, Rafiki had to become the parent and complete that circle of life, and get Simba to step up to that more elderly, more masterful, more kingly role. Alright, that's beautiful. And so serpentine is now, we are still clearing this. There's so much smoke, there's so much destruction from our past, and so serpentine is great, and I'm putting that down into the gut. It is moving into the guts are coiled around, and just relax your abdomen. Raise your solar plexus is kind of like this. What we do is it's like the diaphragm, and what we do is when we are clenched, we go like this, right? So our guts are clenched in. So what I'm saying is take your solar plexus, raise your chest, but also tuck your tailbone in. So when you raise your chest, your butt goes out, right? And that's like, whoa, just relax. Raise your chest up. Oh. Oh, I could get loud, but that's actually not how this video needs to be portrayed. I'm holding a specific type of space. If I wanted to be zany, I'll make another one. And so serpentine is just doing its thing. I think all these stones is really interesting. Like normally, with energy videos, you're like, I need to cleanse the demons out of reality. Just like very frantic, fearful energy. And it's like, no, we're all good. We're all protected by the flame. We're all protected by the divine idols and talismans that are beautifully holding us. Life and death are okay. But life holds all of us. Life and death are not two opposites. Life holds everything. Life holds creation. Life holds if we die, if we choose to go down a unhealthy path. But if we choose, that feels better. If we choose wellness, and we choose abundance, and we choose creating content, creating contentment, creating silly, weird ways, like doing this. Isn't this silly and weird? Like making a video, like putting a stone in our heart and feeling that and going, oh, this feels good. This doesn't feel good. This feels restricting. As we learn to settle and simplify and release that very staunch tool of silence. Be silent. Be silent. Sit in the corner. You're grounded. Like grounding and silence is necessary to embody a more positive truth, a more, not positive or negative, but a more potential or activated, something that is arising from you to be seen for all. It is nice. Because to ground, you must deground yourself. To silence yourself, you must scream. With this Me Too movement and the healing of sexual shame in both men and women, we need to speak up. Both men and women. And there's so much power. There's so much of that lion energy in women right now, and I love it. It's so sexy. And to recognize that we can't, as men, we can't limit ourselves because it's like, oh, women are just, they're having their thing. It's like, you see that? Like, I'm just tapping into that energy. I'm acting for you. It's like, and I feel it. I'm not like doing this because it feels good. I'm doing it because it's like, I'm tapping into that shame energy. Like, ooh, my mommy like hurt me before, and so she's reminding my mom, and instead of doing that, just go, oh shit, that's something I need to heal. Like literally, I'm feeling into that, and like that's something I need to feel. My mom chastised me. She hit me in certain ways, spanked me, things like that, and I love her dearly. I love my father dearly. But there's that Lion King energy that they thought they were the king and the queen, because they hadn't ruled over their own inner child. They were just having children for the sake of love, which is great. That's the positive side of it. The negative side is for the sake of connecting and having to connect in order for a way to not see that we are all interconnected and all interlinked. In oneness, it's not that we are all one. I actually am feeling that's a limiting construct. That's a limiting thought. Oneness, the beingness of one, the beingness of unlimitedness, the beingness of infinity, the beingness of fire and being the flame, being the water, is more conducive to than saying the noun of I am one, I am the Father, I am this, I am. I am is great, it's wonderful, but we're in a new expansive consciousness of beingness. There's no subject, I, and there's no object, I am this. Subject and object, I'm an English major, subject and object dissolve when you recognize your own sovereignty. Beingness is being the king or queen, but also being the beggar. Being the monk, being the nun, being the farmer, being the subject as much as the object. The king is more of an object. The king has a crown. The queen has a crown. The crown means something. So they're an object. They're an objectified goodness. They're an objectified way of perceiving something that's better than you. But a true monarch, somebody like Jon Snow, I love Jon Snow. So this is coming full circle. So Jon Snow, he knew nothing until he lost someone he fell in love with. Because he was always broken, he was always a bastard, but the books aren't over, but I feel like he's going to have to come to a decision about seeing his wholeness, seeing how he integrates the bastard. Because the bastard right now, the bastard in Joffrey would go and be an awful person, but the bastard in somebody like Jon Snow went inward. You know nothing, Jon Snow. She was flirting with him, but he took it on inward. She's saying, you know nothing. And he's like, yeah, I do know nothing. And he's starting to unlimit. He's starting to unlimit himself and become a king of the people. You feel that? He's a king of the people. He's a queen of the people. He's a monarch of the people. A monarch is a beautiful butterfly that comes out of the chrysalis, comes out of that that dense serpentine energy that is condensed in the geology of Earth, which that's necessary and needed as we ebb and flow through time. But as we relax, we become amazing. And any noise or sound is not distraction, it's just another example of you being able to hold wellness, I hope, and hear and heal those people that are working on both sides of that siren are being healthy, are being healed and supported, as opposed to, oh, that's a loud noise, that sucks, oh, I hope that guy gets it, you know. It's not about that anymore. It's about recognizing sovereignty. And this feels like a lecture, it really does, and I'm putting this in a lot of English and analytical and pop culture. Pop culture is so much more fun than spiritual ideology. I am this, I am that. It's like Jon Snow, Simba. What else is like a super enlightened? The Power Rangers are super enlightened. They're like these colors, and they work together, and they fight evil, and they're vulnerable. I don't know why I brought Power Rangers up, but it can enhance your power. Become a warrior, become a king, become a queen, become the magician of your own reality. Become the lover of your own reality. And the only way you can do that is, the only way to encompass and hold your own powerful energies is to hold that powerless energy of the inner child. So this is an inner child healing when it comes down to it, and hopefully that is transmitted, and hopefully you are able to step into your authentic nature and relax into the music of your soul. Relax into that cornucopia and that abundant unfolding, that abundant nature that you already are. And I'm here to support you, I'm here to hold you. But I'm also here to be sovereign and be unique. And if something doesn't feel right, I'm going to say no thanks. I'm totally comfortable saying no thanks. And when I say thanks and it feels insincere, then I'll talk to that, I'll speak to that. If I do something and then I come back and I'm like, why did I do that? Why was I holding space for someone when I just feel dirty and gross? And it's not because I'm holding a negative space, they are causing something in me. No, it's just because I haven't seen that holding that I am having of something, some harm or hurt that has been done to me or that I've done to myself. And so we relax into our bodies. And I'm grounding, like as I'm talking, what I'm doing is I'm grounding all that energy that I just transmitted into you, into your physical vessel, so that you can tap into your unlimited heaven-like nature and find your own paradise. So the paradise is in your heart. It's in that integrated stone, that integrated density, that integrated place that is integrated and merged within itself. It's like a spaceship. Shoots off into the heavens. Alright, that was fun. That was way more fun than the other one yesterday. It was like I had this more of a masculine energy, and it was good, but it was being purged by the wind, like I was saying. I was wearing a red shirt, and I was like, yes, I'm doing Reiki. I'm making Reiki for you. It's like, no, Reiki's energetic transmission. It's tapping into the cosmic healing energy that is all around us, tapping into that innocence, tapping into that sexual nature, tapping into that which is unfolding as opposed to doing sex. That little girl from that new Good Boys trailer came, she's like, that's for sexing. And it's funny because she's younger than them, but she's so tuned in. Little girls, little kids are so tuned in. And when us men, we limit ourselves. Like they could cut themselves off from sexuality, and all they cared about was just getting kisses and playing. Playing is good, but it's recognized. Playing is more than good. Playing is perfect, more than perfect. but we focus on work, and those boys limited themselves to a place of trying to get kisses and all these things. And I urge for an unlimitingness of the inner child, but more importantly, the little inner boy, the inner little boy. He's the one that needs healing. And because I'm a man, I've actually worked with my inner boy more than my inner girl. So that's what's needed in this collective, in this society right now. So that's why I'm transmitting that. And when it's needed to heal the little inner girl, I'll step back and go, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've never menstruated. I've never felt that kind of shame. But I know what it's like to be a little kid and not listen to come into this world wise and pure and just be gaslighted into shutting down and shutting up. And there's anger that's coming up, and I'm just letting it be. It's here. It'll purge and unfold in its own beautiful way. And you'll unfold in your own beautiful way, because you're a beautiful soul. And you have a wonderful rest of your week, rest of your month, rest of your life. My name is Aiden Tanner, and I am more than pleased, more than happy to provide this kind of support, provide this kind of necessary transformation. It's you giving you energy. It's not me telling you or teaching you. It's just you having chosen to heal in this way. Hey, that looks cool. He looks like an interesting chap. He looks like an interesting fellow. I'm going to click on that. That's you choosing to click. That's not me giving you something that you aren't. You're completely full and whole. I just want you to remember that. Play in that wholeness. Don't play in that victimness. I love you. And from the bottom of my heart, be joyful. Take care.